Joy 99.7 FM.
It's 1 o'clock, time for the Joy Business Report. Businesses describe government's decision not to remove some taxes in the 2024 budget as disappointing, insisting it could collapse some firms. And economist Professor Lord Mensah warns government's quest to borrow from Treasury bills market for spending could crowd out private sector players seeking cheaper loans for expansion. Also, Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana demands further details on mode of disbursement of the 220 million cedis allocation to farmers and communities affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage. My name is Elikim Akukung, but let's settle for the details now. Businesses have described government's decision not to remove some taxes in the 2024 budget as disappointing, insisting it could collapse some firms going forward. Some of the enterprises were pushing for the review of the COVID-19 levy and the e-levy. However, the finance minister didn't heed to their concerns. Mark Bedu Abaje is chief executive of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Because if you look at the proportion of those who are manufacturing these key items like sanitary pad and also the African print, they are just small. What we were expecting is a tax relief that will have broad-based and significant impact on the larger part of the manufacturing company. All the things that we asked for me, we didn't see any of them being taken care of. Yes, the COVID levy is counterproductive. We wanted it to be abolished totally. But the e-levy, for instance, we have said that if they want to rake in more revenue, they have to reduce the rate to 0.5.
Economist Professor Lord Mensah has stated that the 2024 budget does not seem to give room for the private sector to thrive, but rather crowd them out. He argues that government's intention to borrow from the Treasury bills market will provide little space for private businesses to access funds. Professor Mensah was reacting to the 2024 budget presentation.
Looking at the proposals on projects that have been lined out, clearly you could see government wants to still hold on to business, without, looking into the situation for the economy to be transferred to the private sector. The crowding out effect still lingers on if you look into the budget clearly. And I don't foresee any moment from now that interest rates are going to come down on the market.
You heard economist Professor Lord Mensah. The Peasant Farmers Association of Ghana is demanding more clarity on how fish farmers and smallholder farmers in the Volta region affected by the Akosombo Dam spillage will be compensated. The Minister of Finance in the 2024 budget announced a 220 million cedi package to support victims of the spillage, but speaking to Joy Business, the executive director of the association, Dr. Charles Nyaba, said past experiences should guide the disbursement of such funds to enable the real victims benefit.
There's a 220 million Ghana cedis to the flood victims of Akosombo spill. We've been calling for that. I'm only concerned of how the resource is going to be distributed among the flood victims, because in the past we had experience or similar interventions which end up not actually benefiting the victims.
Government has been entreated to focus more on improving local enterprises to consolidate its industrialization agenda, according to the Director General for the Management Development and Productivity Institute, Benesi J. This is significant to ensure sustainability. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the Phase 3 of the Sustaining Competitive and Responsible Enterprises event.
You know that in Ghana, 80% of the enterprises or the businesses are all small and medium scale. And so when you see the impact on how the transformation goes, it's very, very fulfilling and exciting. And on top of that, without the SCORE program, we cannot achieve the industrialization agenda for the nation, which is to, build up our industries. And it is through best practices. And so what SCORE gives the enterprises is how to be competitive and how to sustain your business. It's a continuous learning process.
The Ghana Microfinance Institutions Network and GIZ Ghana has kick-started a project aimed at supporting micro-businesses in the promotion of climate change activities. The move, which is part of GIZ's support to the private and financial sector program, will encourage businesses to implement climate adaptation initiatives. Executive Secretary of the GAMFIN, Yao Jamefi, disclosed that the strategy is to target more women and youth-led businesses. He was speaking at the launch of the Climate Finance Knowledge Hub in Accra under the theme Enhancing Climate Finance for SME Growth in Ghana.
In its entirety, what we have is that if you look at our target groups, the MFIs that we are looking at, and then the MSMEs that they support, there's a specific target group that we are looking at within this space. We are looking at youth and then women as one of the core groups to deal with.
Deputy Minister for Energy Herbert Krampa is calling on the Petroleum Commission to establish a virtual data room to incentivize investors to boost oil and gas exploration. He stated that an investment in 3D seismic data in the country's offshore basin is key to the growth of the sector.
We must invest in the acquisition of high-quality data across our sedimentary basins for a better understanding of their geology, and we will see more investment in the exploration of our hydrocarbon resource. The benefit will be the availability of drill-ready blocks for licensing, and given the existing infrastructure, the time between licensing of blocks and first oil could be significantly reduced.
The adoption of genetically modified organisms in Ghana has raised concern and mixed feelings among some Ghanaians. This has slowed the adoption and commercialization of the BT cowpea in Ghana. In today's episode of Food Chain, my colleague Emma Davis assesses the progress of the BT cowpea in Ghana after 12 years of research.
We now are at a stage where we have a second event in the field. So once that event is okay and the necessary research is done, then we would apply to have MPA give us the clearance to commercialize it.
For decades, the pro and anti-GM crops campaign dominated the development of biotechnology and caused distrust between policymakers, scientists, and farmers. However, the adoption of GMOs in Africa is gaining recognition despite many concerns associated with their utilization. According to a research conducted by Osei Wusu et al., about 61% of the respondents are willing to consume GMOs when made available in Ghana. In Ghana, significant progress has been made in making the BT cowpea. Senior research scientist with the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Dr. Richard Ampedua-Mayao, is optimistic that they have been able to demystify myths surrounding GMOs, and farmers are waiting in anticipation for when they would have access to the BT cowpea.
The variety committee will be going to the field very soon. So after they have gone to the field, we're hoping that by 2024, the crop should be in the hands of the farmers. I must say that it's been very, very successful. Initially, when we started, there were a lot of doubts, there were a lot of misunderstanding. But now, when we go to the field, we realize that the farmers and all stakeholders are ready to receive the crop. What gives me assurance? They would always ask, where is the technology?
Although, after nearly 3 decades of GMO commercialization worldwide, no confirmed harm from the production and human consumption of approved GM crops is observed. Research scientist Dr. Daniel Osei Ofusu explains that in the case of any complication in the future, it could be the individual's reaction to the crop.
When new things come out, we don't just leave them. Regulation continues. And that's how we're able to weed out the bad ones. In nature, there are some things that we're used to, but that have some effect on some people. Let me use, for example, granite or peanut. Some people are not able to take peanuts. They say, oh, when I eat granite, I get pimples. It could be an allergy. But groundnut is not particularly bad. It just has to be managed by people who cannot stand it. Same with lactose. So people are lactose intolerant. So all these are done in a space. And that space ensures that continuously only the safe ones are available to us.
The delay in adoption of GMOs is as a result of the lack of trust in the integrity of scientists, as there is fear that scientists perform experiments on everything. But Deputy Director General of the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, Professor Marian Quinn, has assured that scientists only look out for the good of humans. She disclosed that scientists risk jail time for any experiments that causes harm.
No technology developer, especially for the foods, would try to get anything wrong. In Ghana, Biosafety Authority, the law, if you get it wrong, you go into jail for 5 years. No researcher wants to go to jail. So in a way, we have always made sure that we put out the best, and it is long overdue, and we have to pay attention to that, and the population should have confidence that we are doing our best for them.
12 years of research and trials of the BT cowpea in Ghana. What's next?
Food Chain airs every Saturday at 6 p.m. on the Joy News channel. Now, before we go, the EcoBank salary account is a special account designed for workers of all income brackets desirous of receiving their salaries through EcoBank. With the EcoBank salary account, you are guaranteed all the benefits of a normal savings or current account, plus more. EcoBank salary account gives workers free life insurance cover of up to 10,000 Ghana cedis, 24/7 access to cash and e-banking services, internet and mobile banking services, high interest on savings, no minimum balance, ability to save through the EcoBank Save As You Spend, a unique feature that helps customers to save and invest. Remember, the insurance policy covers death, permanent or temporary disability, critical illness, hospitalization, retrenchment, and more. Savings or current account holders at EcoBank do not have to close their existing accounts to enjoy the numerous benefits of the EcoBank salary account. Just ask your branch to switch your existing accounts to the EcoBank salary account. Non-EcoBank account holders should approach any EcoBank branch and ask for the EcoBank salary account. Switch your salary account today and enjoy amazing benefits at EcoBank. Call EcoBank toll free on 0800 003225 wherever for further details. EcoBank, your Pan-African bank. Ignition is next. Do enjoy.